Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon, and today we're back with another Enlisted Squad guide, and this time we have another event squad from the Assault Engineers event. This time we have the 157th Engineer Brigade of the 50th Infantry Division. Of course, this is a squad that has a lot of its own controversy surrounding the addition to Enlisted, which I will cover in this video. But this video will be covering the controversy itself, the history, the perks, and whether you should get it. Of course, we're not going to be covering the weapon because, as we will find out very soon, you can essentially give any weapon to the squad. That is a rifle or assault weapon. With that said, let's get started. With that said, this video has been made possible for the friends at Discord, meaning if you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, I highly suggest that you do. With that said, let's get started. Starting up with the controversy, this originated from the Stalingrad campaign. Back when Enlisted was still having the campaign system, and there was the Axis and Allied Stalingrads, engineers could use assault weapons, or to be exact, only the assault rifles, which was essentially the German NKB-42H and the addition of the Fedorov. After that, the merge continued for all factions, so the merge arrived and a lot of people were like wondering what was to happen to these engineer squads, which we have to remember, these engineer squads has 6 people with assault weapons which are really deadly. Of course, a lot of people were like, okay, we want this to continue with the merge, but Enlisted was like, no. So a lot of people got upset, and thus Enlisted gave us a compensation. This eventually came in this form, which is the form that we have now, and that is that Enlisted will give us 2 squads with engineers that can deploy any assault weapons, which is what we have right now. Essentially, these engineers can use assault weapons, rifles, and essentially anything with the engineer class, and some weapons of the assaulter class, of which the weapons they use from the assaulters are only limited to the assault rifle, so that's going to be interesting. That said, let's move on to the history of the squad itself. The 57th Infantry Regiment was formed in August 1939 as part of the second wave of German mobilization. During the German and Soviet invasion of Poland, the division remained in the Saarland, protecting the Western Front. The division was then moved into Poland as an occupational force in August of 1940, until the initiation of Operation Barbarossa in June of 1941, the invasion of the Soviet Union. The division took part in the campaigns of Army Group South as part of Fall Blau, or should I say, the Summer Offensive of 1942. The 57th Infantry Division advanced as far as the Don River before having to hold off the Vorozhov bridgeheads against Soviet counteroffensives. By the end of Fall Blau, or the Stalingrad campaign, the 57th was essentially decimated. After Stalingrad, it saw action in the Dnieper-Carpathian operation, where it claimed more casualties. It was then moved to Army Group Center for a potential refit, but that never happened, thanks to Operation Bagration. The entire unit was destroyed in Bagration, and the German High Command officially dissolved it by the 3rd of August 1944. That said, we're not going to be talking about any weapons, because you can essentially give any weapon to this squad that is A, assault weapon, or B, a rifle. So that's that. Let's move on to the perks. In terms of the perks, we have Vitality, which I highly suggest that you get, plus 75% melee attack usage speed, and minus 40% vertical recoil. Notice, it does start with a lot of engineer perks, which I highly suggest that you remove, since now once you get these perks, you really don't need them at all, so I highly suggest that you remove the engineer perks. If you want to use the engineer perks, all you have to do is kind of press X, and your engineers will build it for you. That said, should you get it? And the answer is yes. This video is going to be very short, so I'm going to keep it very short. Yes, you should definitely get the squad. It's not a great squad, it's not a bad squad, but that really depends on what you get it. Of course, this squad can be used in any BR/any tier, so that's very good. It starts well with the MKB-42H, which I highly suggest that you throw out if you decide to play tier 5, and instead give it the STG-44. The 6 engineers are really good for getting up rallies and deploying anti-tank guns or other machine guns. However, there's nothing really interesting about this unit. Sure, it has 6 people instead of 4 dudes holding essentially assault rifles, but overall it's not that different from other squads. Mostly because it overall is an engineer squad, just with essentially the ability to carry assault weapons. That said, I do suggest that you get it because it is an event squad, it's a cool squad, and overall the uniforms are pretty neat, especially the helmets. They do have essentially hardened helmets. Now, technically, these hardened helmets don't give you a lot of HP, or should I say defense, But hey, it looks cool, and it does give you a slight advantage when dealing with headshots. But that's it. What do you guys think about this squad? Comment in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one.